Ooh, what's going on, people? It's Spencer here, and we're back for another DTC Season 3 Draft League video. This time it's Week 3, and I'm playing Thomas and the Dutch Drampas. So we'll first, of course, go into the match in my prep, or we'll discuss the team builder. We'll then go into the replay with the frame-by-frame, and then we'll go into some post-game analysis. So let's just go ahead and start with his team and the threats. So looking at Thomas's team, I kind of knew that a couple things were definitely coming. The Pelipper to set the rain, the Swampert for his go-to physical rain sweeper, a Specs Zapdos for hitting thunders and hurricanes, and probably Palkia for hitting on the special side. And then from there, I just kind of thought there were a few options that may work. Like Licky Licky would be good as a cleric, given how status prone a lot of his team is, and Kingdra might be another special option, given that it gets Swift Swim and hits hard with the Specs or Z set. And then lastly, I thought Durant could be a possible 6-mon, just given how it benefits from the resistant fire attacks under rain, and it has a pretty nice speed tier to outspeed a lot of my team. So, with what I think are his key threats and his most likely picks out of the way, I'll just go ahead and go into my team builder and discuss a lot of my prep. So going into the team builder here, I right away knew that I'd be benefiting from using a lot of my specially defensive mons, such as Audino and Alolan Muck. So the Audino would be a very standard, Wish Passing Cleric set with Wish Protect Toxic Heal Bell. And then, of course, the big benefit is that I can pass the wishes, give them to other members of my team, and then just kind of recover the HP with Regenerator. The Alolan Muck was also pretty standard, kind of an AB set with Max Attack, Max HP, Poison Jab, and Knock Off as the go-to stab moves, Shadow Sneak for priority, and then running Clear Smog in the off chance that the Kingdra or something else is some kind of a setup variant, so that might help there. And then Arceus Ghost, of course, is just returning, given how satisfied I was with last week's performance. We again be running a more bulky Combine set, so going for 248 HP, 224 defense, and 36 Buff EVs and a Timid Nature. So initially I slotted the 36 in speed, but figured all I needed was to potentially outspeed Kingdra with a Rain Down. So I kept the Timid Nature and then just threw the rest in the special bulk. We'll make it a mono attacking Combine set, since his only Ghost Resist is Licky Licky. And Will-O-Wisp can potentially cripple any physical attackers he brings, so pretty good set there for the rest of his team. And then, of course, going to the next one, I thought physical attackers would definitely be checked by Mega Slowbro, so it seemed kind of like a no-brainer here. Water Resist will pretty much put anything that Mega Swampert puts to a halt, and then, of course, I could use Regenerator if I need to. But the objective here was more so to abuse that huge special attack set and additional physical bulk, so running Grass Knot to catch Mega Swampert. And Future Sight for spam was basically given his only Psychic Resist is Uxie, so I thought that would be very useful. Teleporting after a Future Sight into something that will take the Psychic Resist also seemed very potent, so that was kind of the idea with the set here. And then very standard EVs with some or mostly in physical defense and the rest in special defense. And then next up, I thought it'd be nice to have something with a bit of a speed control in the speed tiers, such as Swift Swim Mega Swampert. So I ended up running an actually Choice Scarf Thunderous, which outspeeds the Swampert by about 5 points. Then just throwing the rest in the special attack. Of course, we've got Grass Knot to catch the Mega Swampert. We've got Thunder, which will be highly spammable under the rain. Hidden Power Fire was more so just to check Durant. I believe a 2-hit KO is under rain, so that should be good enough. And then Volt Switch, of course, for good pivoting opportunities. And then lastly, I thought I'd give Virizion a second try. Just given this time I'm running SD plus 3 attacks and enough speed EVs to outspeed Timid Max Zapdos, and then just dumping the rest into attack and HP. So given that I've seen mostly offensive Zapdos being run with Thomas, I thought plus 2 Continental Crush is definitely going to take it out, and the rest of course is just your standard step coverage. So that's pretty much going to be a pretty standard team for the most part, really leaning on the bulk to take a lot of those rain boosted hits particularly, and then more than enough recovery to go around with a bit of speed control and a few lure sets that might take him by surprise. So with the prep out of the way, let's just go ahead and get into the actual battle itself. So going into the battle here, I see that I was quite surprised that he he has Poliwrath as well as Galvantula, but now that I can clearly see that he didn't bring Mega Swampert, I figure Thundurus is even more safe to lead here. So I just go ahead and go turn 1 Thundurus. As he goes turn 1 Galvantula. Go for the Hidden Power Fire just to see how much it's going to do as he sets up a Sticky Web. Kind of a strange play just given the fact that Virizion is really the only Pokemon of note, maybe besides Arceus, that is weak against sticky webs, but besides that, most of my team is slow and bulky, so it was kind of a strange play. But I'm gonna go into Muck, just predicting a double switch as he actually volt switches. and he goes into Pelipper. Here I'm predicting a knockoff to remove those Assault Vests, so I just go right into Arceus to take it. He actually goes for a U-turn, setting himself up into Kingdra. And so I just go into Audino, just assuming it's going to be special, as he actually reveals the Liquidation and does a huge chunk and gets the defense drop. So here I figure I gotta go Slowbro and just, take whatever he's got and then Regenerate or recover it, as he fires off a pretty hefty Hydro Pump. So here I'm anticipating a Draco Meteor or Hurricane, so I decided to go Amok to scout it, as he actually reveals the Signal Beam, which is some surprising coverage I wasn't aware of. Knowing I can take anything at this range, I'll just fire off a Poison Jab, seeing how unresisted it is, and the Poliwrath is going to take half and get poisoned. Again, I'm going back into Slowbro, just take whatever he wants as he actually EQs. And right here, that's just going to give me an opportunity to slack off as he goes into Kingdra. And then from here with the rain down, he has to double back into Pelipper to set up the rain again, while I'm just able to go into Audino. And then here we're basically just going to trade some attacks as he goes for Scald and I'm going to go for Toxic. And it's here I have to do, I think, a double take because I realized that I didn't have the Regenerator on my Slowbro. I forgot to change the ability to Oblivious, or from Oblivious to Regenerator. So it's not a huge deal, and I figured it wasn't worth restarting the match or anything. But at this stage, I figure I just need to kind of keep Slowbro above half, and they should be able to take just about anything that this team's going to throw at me. So with that in mind, I throw up a Wish as the Poliwrath comes in. And then I'm just going to go into Slowbro, take whatever kind of attack he wants, as he does actually reveal he's got Darkest Lariat in the back. Is going to go down, though, from Life Orb Recoil, so that's good. As he just goes into the Zapdos here. And then here, I think, I'm going to take a Thunder, just knowing I can take anything with the Alola Muck, as he actually follows up into a Hurricane, doing quite a lot. The Poison Jab is going to chunk it quite well. That Poison Touch plus Poison Jab chance is just, increasing the residual damage there. As I'm going to go into Audino to just try to set up an opportunity for a Wish, as I actually get the Confusion, which is really unfortunate. So I don't want to hit myself here and also get hit by the attack, so I decided to just go into Thundurus to take a predicted Hurricane. Ends up working out pretty well for me. And then here I can just kind of safely Volt Switch, pick off that Zapdos, and then set myself into something else, which is going to be the Audino. And then at this point, I believe, he's just going to U-turn back into Kingdra, as I'm going to set up another Wish. And then here I'm figuring, or maybe not this turn, but the next turn. I'm going to get some Toxic for residual damage first. And I believe I take one Liquidation pretty well, as I set up a Wish. And then actually go into Arceus, figuring I can take one of the 8 hits, just because I have really good physical defense. And then I'm going to be able to set up some special defense with Calm Minds. So he actually goes for a Dragon Pulse here, revealing that as his last move, as I'm just going to go for a Calm Mind safely. Misses the Hydro Pump, which is rather unfortunate, but at this rate, I don't think it's going to do a ton of damage. I'm just going to get up a second Calm Mind, just making sure that I can take all the special hits and, and a third one here to make sure I can, one-hit KO the rest of his team. Sends out the Galvantula. Thunder is going to connect, of course, as I'm just able to recover off that damage, given how little it does. Fires off a second Thunder and actually gets a crit, which does, respectable amount, but Judgment is clearly going to take it out from that range. And then from here, I believe I'm just going to get off a second recover, given how little Pelipper can do to Arceus. As I'm just going to fire off now with Judgment to take it out. And then lastly, we have Palkia, which comes out. Expecting a Spatial Rend, but the Hydro Pump actually comes out, and then I'm just going to finish it off with a Judgment to really give me that 6-0 win. So, well played game on my part. Really predicted a lot of what the team was going to be, but let's go ahead and go into the post-game assessment, and we can discuss that a little further. So let's see. Post-game assessment. There we go. So kind of just talking about that. Obviously, a star performance from the bulky duo of Audino plus Alola Muck. Audino really provides all the recovery I needed and the ability to soak up a ton of damage. So giving that Wish to another team member and recovering its own HP with Regenerator was the key there. You saw Muck doing massive chunks of damage with the spammable Poison Jab, which always got that Poison Jab off, or the Poison Chance off rather, and helped add a timer to my opponent's team. And once a lot of his team was softened up, Arceus Ghost really had a chance to fire off a few Calm Minds and see how little damage he was taking from the rest of his team. So that sealed the deal and gave me that guaranteed clean sweep. I was honestly very surprised not to see Mega Swampert. Even if it was a fairly obvious bring, I still thought it could be a threat with access to stuff like Bulk Up and Darkest Lariat, and even that could still be a threat to Arceus and Mega Slowbro especially. And then tandem, I thought Licky Licky would have been a good support option over the team, over something like Galvantula, whose webs really didn't hinder my team in any way, given how slow and bulky I already was. And so having some kind of recovery or cleric support, I think would have been really nice for him and increased longevity for that match. But if anything, I would say diversifying the team to be a little less reliant on a ring could be one of the ways of restructuring it. So trimming down some of those ring components to really only the essential members. So things like Pelipper, Kingdra, Mega Swampert, and then finding replacements that cover some of those Mon's weaknesses. So maybe even substituting Palkia for something else in the S tier, the S plus tier that offers more pressure or support that doesn't overlap with Kingdra can really work. But nonetheless, it was still a good match, and I wish Thomas the best of luck with the rest of his matches. For my own play, I got off this time with not checking in my abilities, but in the future, definitely always triple check those EV spreads, moves, and abilities and make sure they're correct. But yeah, overall fun match. Definitely enjoyed it. Guys, if you enjoyed this match, as always, let me know what you think of the prep, the match, and the final outcome in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed this, and of course, be sure to subscribe if you want to see more Draft League content. But until next time, I will see y'all later. Peace out.